So we got our hopium to an all-time high, and now we got to deal with some copium. Hey guys, welcome on in. Kyrios here, and today we're going to talk about who you should pull for now that Koharu and Azusa are not together. They did throw a curveball at us, but before we get started, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. This video is going to be more around the free-to-play than my spend community, so still pull who you want. Maybe this will help guide you, but let's go. All right, before we get started, I just want to let you guys know we do have reviews on a lot of different things in this channel. So go ahead and click on those cards above if you want to get more in-depth details on some of these characters or anything else that we cover on this channel. Okay, let's get rolling. First things first, Blue Archive announced a few days ago that Koharu and Azusa are not coming together. I find this to be a very odd move due to the timing of raids and the summer events now. As you can see, here's their Twitter posts of Hibiki and Azusa. And they're both very great banners, and they're both very great students. But now we have to juggle 3 rotations of really good students to be considered. So I'm not sure how Nexon's going to pull this off, and I don't know if this was the right move. Let's take a look at the estimated raid positioning now. First, as an FYI, Koharu's release was on a Bina raid in Japan, and it caused so much outrage they had to deploy back-to-back weeks of raids with Hero to make people happy. And this is partially why we thought Koharu and Azusa were coming together. See the emergency rotation here. Okay, so now here's a mock-up of what I think is going to happen. Obviously, we're at Hero, which is week 6, which is Azusa and Hibiki. Now, that means that we're going to have Bina next week, or we might have Bina next week, with Koharu and Hifumi. And then we're going to have a Shirokuru with Summer Azusa and Summer Iori. Now, what I find really weird here is look at the Koharu and the Hifumi, right? If they're going to drop that again on another Bina, they're making the same mistake that they made in Japan. Now, the only thing I could think that they're going to probably do, and there's a couple situations, is one, that they're going to do back-to-back Hero weeks, which is terrible. Please don't do that. 2, they're going to remove Bina and just drop, or maybe they'll leave Bina and just drop Hifumi, and move Koharu to Hibiki's spot, which isn't till way later in the rotation, and then continue on with Summer Azusa and Summer Iori. It's hard to tell which direction they're thinking of going, but either direction is not very pleasant to any of the players. Okay, so on screen, you have Koharu, Azusa, Hibiki, and Summer Azusa. Now, we are in one hell of a pickle. So I'm going to try and organize this the best I can based on how many gems you have, whether you spend a bit, and whether you may or may not have Hibiki. But this is going to be very rough, so I will try and help guide you guys through this. Okay, now remember, originally what we thought was going to happen and what we were hoping was going to happen is that Koharu and Azusa were going to be on Banner 1, and then Summer Azusa plus technically Summer Iori was going to be on Banner 2. And that's going to be roughly about 48,000 gems if you had to pity. Well, roughly, right? And that was going to be the ideal pull. And that was the 100% pull for all 3 of these if the banners were like that. All right, let's do a quick overview of some of our characters real quick. This is going to be very brief, but Koharu first. Best healer in the game. She's also a striker healer. And she's used in at least 2 different raids for one-shot comps. That means one teaming comps, which is Hero and technically Shirokuru. She can be used in a lot of other raids if you're having the 2-team, which a lot of us are going to have the 2-team. All right, next let's look at Azusa. Azusa is the best single target red DPS currently in the game. Has a defense breaker, which makes her amazing for a lot of different team comps. She is used in Extreme Hero to one team. It's almost impossible without her. And she's also used in 2 different raids for one-shot comps, but on the second raid she's really used as just a defense breaker instead of a DPSer. Next we have up Hibiki, one of the best students in the game, in the top 3 of best students in the game, used in PvE and PvP, used in 3+ raids, and she could be used in almost every raid just for her passive alone, and great in all content. This is a very hard student to pass up on if you do not have her. Now, finally, we have Summer Azusa, and Summer Azusa is a limited unit, so it's going to take priority over a lot. Spoiler alert. Used in 2 to 3 different raids, has an EX skill that bypasses armor synergy. And what I mean by that is that, and we'll do this in her review, is that her dot is very strong and bypasses that synergy. And then she also has a defense breaker. All right, right before we get into who you're going to pull, I wanted to bring you guys back here so I make this very, very clear. Coming up very shortly, probably sometime in the next 4 raids, according to the raid schedule, and depending on how fast we move, just after the summer event, you can start using your clanmates' students. So that means think very carefully about the student you want to skip, because you can skip one for raid. So if you don't want to pull on a Azusa, you don't want to pull on a Koharu, you don't want to pull on a limited, well, you're probably going to pull on the limited. You don't want to pull on a Hibiki. That could be the one student you can borrow from your clan members in order to still do extreme mode. So keep that in mind as you're looking to spend your gems. Okay, it's been a while since I had to bust out the template, but remember, a true pity is around 72,000 gems, depending on how lucky or unlucky you get. Let's start with our free-to-play community and our low spenders community. 1, don't dip below 18,000 gems. You're going to be able to get some of those gems back as we make our way to the limiteds, right, with events and weeklies and doing everything you do, but try not to dip too hard. Try a handful of pulls on Azusa and Koharu, maybe 10 to 20. Maybe you'll get very lucky and grab it, but don't commit too hard. If you're missing Hibiki, try and do 10 to 20 pulls on Hibiki instead of Azusa, because Hibiki is going to help you throughout the game and throughout the campaign and throughout many different raids more than Azusa will. Azusa is amazing. I'm not trying to underplay her, but you're going to get more use out of Hibiki than you will out of Azusa. Okay, for our medium spenders, or for those that have a lot of gems saved, if you're missing Hibiki, you need to go all in. Hibiki is amazing. Try to spark both Hibiki and Azusa. This still kind of pains me a little bit because I still wanted this to be Koharu and Azusa. That still would have been the better banner. But here we are. If you have Hibiki, try some pulls on Azusa, but I would say for Koharu, Koharu is technically the better pull and would help you with a lot more content than Azusa will. But if you want to be #1 in extreme, you're going to kind of need both. If PvP is your focus for my medium and extreme savers, you're going to want to try and save for, you're going to want to not pull on Hibiki or Azusa or Koharu besides a few, and save for all the summer units. I mean, all of them. Summer Mashiro, Summer Iori, Summer... My brain is blanking right now. Why am I... Summer Azusa and Summer Hina. Wow, that was a struggle. Okay, and then finally for my high spenders, I mean, it doesn't matter. You're going to pull who you want because you can, and you're going to swipe hard and swipe amazing. Pull for everything. Do it. Azusa, Koharu, limiteds, you know who you are. We love you. And we're jealous, but we still love you. All right, guys, that's all I got. Actually, it's not all I got. One last thing. Remember that you can spark a lot of these students on the limited banners, so keep that in mind. But that is a gamble. That is a gamble you're going to have to take, and that's a gamble that we all take whenever we start rolling. And I'm gonna be struggling too. I mean, I'm just gonna be perfectly honest with you guys, right? I want Azusa, I want Koharu, I want Summer Azusa. I'm not that big into PvP, and a Summer Hina would be really good, but I want all 3 of these units, right? Next time, please, why couldn't you put Azusa and Koharu together? I really don't understand what you're going to be doing with these raids and how that's going to make a lot of sense. If you drop Koharu on a Bina raid, that is just such a slap in the face to everyone. And so, guys, I'm in the same boat you guys are, so hopefully this helped you out. I don't know if it did. Hit me up in the comments if it did or didn't. Maybe I need to do a follow-up video if I didn't do enough details. So just let me know. We're in this together. Much love, everyone. I'll see you guys on the next video. Fist bump from me to you.